During the last 3 decades of the 20th century, Kazumi Watanabe was one of the world's most prolific jazz rock guitarists, releasing an album a year, sometimes 2 albums a year. And from his 1979 release Kylyn, the track Milestones. And so far we have a really brisk run in the key, primarily a C major. Some really breathtaking soprano sax work from Toshiyuki Honda, who recorded a lot of solo and also led the band Burning Waves around this time, released a ton of albums on Electric Bird and Eastworld between 1978 and, onward. Breathtaking there. The rhythmic component, I was about to say, or the rhythm section, is courtesy of the Sadistic Mica Band. We got Yukihiro Takahashi, drummer. We also have and on bass we have Rey Ohara from that band. Yukihiro Takahashi at this point involved in both the Sadistics and the Yellow Magic Orchestra, who were just taking off around the time of this album's recording. And on drums, we also have Shuichi Murakami, Ponta, who recorded a few solo albums around this time, and did a lot of backup work. And yeah. Is that a straight soprano sax or a curved one? Can any of you tell just by the sound of it? Yeah, leave a comment. And on keyboards, we have Mikio Masuda, who also released numerous recordings on Eastwind and Electric Bird under his own name, in a similar vein to this. Another keyboardist credited on the album, though, interestingly, as well as vocals, but not on this track, I don't believe. Akiko Yano, art pop musician and eventual wife of Ryuichi Sakamoto. Percussion on this album is played by Pecker, aka Masahito Hashida. Yeah, as Pecker, he put out a reggae album on Better Days in 1980. Pecker Power with yeah, interesting cover art, very colorful. So far, our main guy, Kazumi Watanabe, is being really restrained and letting other people just take command of this track. And we're like 3.5 minutes in. The moment I say something about it, finally, I guess he kind of knew, how long can I just stay in the background here? Taking time to explore like each like the low end and the high end of the fretboard, it seems like, and between each lick, kind of ending each like kind of figure of eight with some bends and such, some like lyrical sustain, notes. He goes through these passages where he does these kind of like scaly runs, and then throws in some bends, and then he gets like really fast, and then while that tone is just kind of like simmering and kind of like breaking, and then he throws in some slight bit of like kind of thematic bits, and then parts that seem just totally kind of like random, and then showing his range. I just made a discovery here. The album's produced, and they're also credited on keyboards is how they spell it, Ryuichi Sakamoto, and then I start to think, wait a minute, and I click the name on, and it's Ryuichi Sakamoto. Yeah, makes sense. So we've got quite a bit of YMO tie-in on this. Yeah, with two of the members plus Akiko, who I guess at this point was with Sakamoto, and interestingly, on the 1980 live video that I saw of YMO, Kazumi Watanabe was on stage with them at one point, as was Akiko. Yeah, so making it kind of like an all-star concert. Two other sax and brass play. Let's see. On tenor saxophone, Yasuaki Shimizu, who yeah, released some albums of his own at the time, like on numerous like Electric Bird, Better Days. This basically the Japanese jazz rock labels. And on trombone, Shigeharu Mukai, yeah, who also put out some bunch of albums on Better Days during the time period. I don't know which of the people credited on keyboards was giving us that kind of like watery, wiggly sound that we were just hearing. One of the more sumptuous sounds on the track. I love the clipped staccato nature of those horn blasts right there. Brilliant, that really choppy, close cadence. Yeah, it takes a lot of coordination and discipline in the arrangements to get everyone like falling in line to that like part where, okay, now we're going to play really choppy here, and getting everyone on board after they've been you have that many instrumentalists in the room, and to pull it off takes a lot of practice, I'd imagine, to go from like fluid and kind of open cadence, and then to go suddenly, okay, remember, and for people to remember when to like yeah, that was Milestones by Kazumi Watanabe from his 1979 release Kylyn, with a whole like all-star cast of players. A lot of these albums from Japan, you'll find like a lot of overlap in instrumentalists. I'm thinking there might be like maybe 2 or 3 primary grapevines of musicians that were all playing on different on each other's recordings during the time period, like all these like YMO, Sadistic Mica Band guys, and their associates on one. It might be kind of like a regional thing, who knows. I'll learn more about that as I piece it all together. Let's hear another track from this album, I'll Be There. Already, I love how this one contrasts the other one so much. This giving more of like a West Coast kind of vibe. Yeah, perfectly conjuring up that stateside jazz funk sound, like instrumental. And the vocals, I believe, from Akiko. I love that sound. These kind of like bass type figures like that I've heard on so many West Coast recordings, where it'll be like kind of like boom 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 boom. Yeah, I've heard that like on a lot of like stateside jazz funk and smooth rock from like the late '70s, early '80s. So many like it could be it could start in any kind of key center, but but like the bar will, or like the figure of eight will like conclude like on a boom boom to get that, and then it'll repeat. The whole figure will repeat. That's like an ARP, I think. That there were any lyrics on this album. Two really colorful keyboard sounds now. Yeah, that more kind of like lower, kind of trebly sound. I like how the chord progression is going from like D minor to B, and then B flat, and then bum, 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 and then resolving by going to like C, D like that, like. I'm trying to think of all the different like stateside jazz funk songs that this reminds me of, like particularly that ARP figure. But it's hard to think of other songs when you've got one playing. I'm thinking maybe, even though I haven't heard in a while, maybe that instrumental at the end of the Barquet's 1978 album might be one, just one of many. I love just the combination, how it runs through like it's based like in a minor, and then it runs through like some flats and some chromatics, and ultimately like resolves itself by like doubling up on the notes for like, I don't know, at the end of the figure. Yeah, it's kind of like alternating these different like sharp flat solutions from the main chords, like D minor, D, B flat, C, D, like that, or it goes like F, like D, or F sharp, like, or something like. Did you hear that vibra slap? And I love these like strings, these kind of like striking, dramatic. I have to say, for an album credited to one guy, the guitarist Kazumi Watanabe, these two tracks, and especially, and this one so far even more so, are really very much about arranger ensemble driven, and highlighting different soloists that aren't the main star of the album. I mean everyone, like on this track. I would actually, I would venture to say that Ryuichi Sakamoto might be more of kind of like a driving force here than anyone, because he's credited as like yeah, the producer, mixer, um, yeah, and just kind of overseeing this whole thing. Thanks for reminding us who the star of this recording is. That was a good solo. Some good, really oozing notes and licks and such and scales. This is basically the similar to the melody that we were hearing earlier, except it's been transposed down to A, and it's going like A minor, like, and then like F, and A minor, F, like chordal structures tend to give a lot of room to a lot of kind of like melodramatic tension, and which is working well with like the fullness of these arrangements, the strings, the vocals, and Yeah, that was "I'll Be There" by Kazumi Watanabe and a whole cast of Japanese talent, including Akiko Yano on vocals and keyboards, and Ryuichi Sakamoto, who produced the whole thing and seems to be kind of overseeing things, and Yukihiro Takahashi on drums, and the other musicians who I've mentioned already. And yeah, these Japanese jazz rock and city pop recordings from the era seem to be like musical, like family, extended family affairs, oftentimes. For more Rubies and Sapphires from the catalog of Kazumi Watanabe, see the directory of albums by Japanese artists linked in the description below for Red Hot Tracks and Tasty Purples for a whole bunch of albums that he put out from, oh god, starting in like 1976 up through, oh, my coverage of him runs up to like about the end of the 80s anyway, and that accounts for like about, I don't know, at least 12 titles, including some he put out with a namesake Kazumi band during the early 1980s. Yeah, and very consistent in quality. And like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about these two tracks, the layers, the instrumentation, the soloing, which moments stood out to you. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear travel trimaximalist, signing off.